let's open up this discussion about your concerns for both the United States and the global economy in light of these rate hikes. And let's talk about the United States first. Wall Street seems to think that a US recession next year is a sure thing. I mean, who was it? Was it Bloomberg economist that said they were out last week saying 100% certain? They think the Fed is going to have to mimic Paul Volcker in the 1970s and raise interest rates above the rate of inflation to tame it, and in doing so, cause a recession. So do you think that the US is necessarily headed for a recession? Can we avoid one?
A recession is not inevitable. A severe recession, like what Paul Volcker engineered in the early 1980s, that is absolutely not inevitable. And frankly, if we get there, there have been some massive policy mistakes made, in particular by the Federal Reserve. We come into this moment as the strongest of the advanced economies. Well, we have inflation that is high, and this is a problem. We had a job-full recovery. We have unemployment rates low. We have people that have gotten wage increases that, frankly, businesses have told us were never worth a wage increase. I mean, low-wage service workers have got increases. People have moved to better jobs. There's far more recovery in the full-time work than the part-time. A lot of those part-time jobs are really crappy jobs, right? So we came into this, and Americans, they have income. They are spending. U.S. economy, 70% of it is consumer spending.
Right.
We are in such a better place than Europe, even many parts of Asia, and definitely emerging more poor countries in the world. And if we screw that up, I mean, we have done a major disservice to this economy. I see this moment, like this is the last chance to get this right. The Federal Reserve, they've seen mortgage rates are up really high. House prices have turned over. The rental markets, things that are telling us, look, Fed, you did it. You got it, like the things that where the Fed shows up. There is a long-standing appreciation for the fact that the monetary policy works with long and variable lags.
Exactly.
What that means in like normal speak is it takes time. The Fed affects interest rate sensitive sectors first. I mean, they raise interest rates. So housing is a place, auto loan, places where people typically have to take out loans that have interest rates. That's where the Fed first affects. And then it has to feed through in terms of realtors lose their jobs and they have less to spend. And then other people get laid off and they have less to spend. So it takes time. That's the long piece. And the variable is like what I was talking about before. We don't actually, like businesses decide inflation. So we don't know exactly when it shows up, but it is so clear that they have loaded a lot into the pipeline, which could be appropriate. But now is the time to be patient. We see it working. We know it's coming, but it's not here yet. And I can't predict when it is, but it's very clear from what we see broadly in the data, it's coming next year, unless the asteroid hits. I mean, that would be inflationary too, right? So I don't, but the signs are there. And frankly, the Federal Reserve is being not like the Fed because it's 2022, not 1978, right? And so it's frustrating, but I have full faith in the Fed to do the right thing, but they got to start doing it real fast.